Hi students, I'm Sivaranjani. So, இன்னைக்கு நம்ம பார்க்க போற topic determination of income and employment, macroeconomics, class 12. So, this is very important chapter. நிறைய concepts நீங்க வந்து understand பண்ணா மட்டும்தான் இதுல இருக்கிற answers நீங்க questionக்கு answer பண்ண முடியும். Okay. So, first what is aggregate demand? So, generally இதுல என்னென்ன topics வருமோ first அதெல்லாம் பார்க்க போறோம். Okay. What is aggregate demand? Aggregate demand is nothing but it is a total value of all final goods and services which all the sectors of economy are planning to buy at a given level of income. Aggregate demand is nothing but the word aggregate is a total. Okay, so in economics we call it as a total. Aggregate is a total. So total demand of all the final goods and services. And aggregate demand is called as expenditure, total expenditure of goods and services in economy during a period of time. Maybe it is a 1 year or 2 years. So for a particular period of time, the aggregate expenditure is a total expenditure. Okay. So what is aggregate supply? Okay, so before going to the aggregate supply, we have a components of aggregate demand. Okay, what are the components of aggregate demand? They'll ask what are the components. You have a 4 components. First one is household consumption expenditure. First one is we are consuming. So if you are having some income, உங்களுக்கு first income வருதுன்னா first என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நம்மளுக்கு எது வந்து necessary-ஆ தேவை consume, நம்மளுக்கு எது தேவையோ அதை மட்டும் தான் first நம்ம use பண்ணுவோம், right? So household consumption na first preference கொடுப்போம். So that is called as household consumption expenditure. வீட்டுக்கு என்ன தேவையோ, எனக்கு என்ன தேவையோ, என்னோட necessity என்னவோ அதுக்கு நான் first expense பண்றேன். So that is a household consumption expenditure. Next one is investment expenditure. Investment expenditure is nothing but நான் once consume பண்ணிட்டேன், என்னோட wants எல்லாம் fulfill ஆயிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா next நான் வந்து investmentக்கு போறேன். So invest பண்றேன். Okay. Then government consumption. So அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறமா government consumption ஏதாவது இருந்துச்சுன்னா நான் ஏதாவது பே பண்ணணுமா, ஸோ அதெல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், நான் பண்ணுவேன். நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து net export, that is export minus imports. Then வந்து foreign sectors. First household, investment, government, foreign sector. These are the 4 components of aggregate demand. But நம்ம படிக்கிறது வந்து 2 sector தான். So only household and investment expenditure. These two are the most important components. That is the aggregate demand equal to consumption plus investment. So this is it. நம்ம படிக்கிறது இந்த chapterல வந்து 2 sector economy, 2 sectorல தான் நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம். But components of aggregate demand கேட்டா you have to write these 4 headings and you have to explain these 4 headings detail. Okay. Next one is diagrammatic representation of aggregate demand. So listen carefully. So this is the aggregate demand. Actually, this is the aggregate demand diagrammatic representation. So see this schedule. Your income is 0. Okay. So your income is 0. So when your income is 0, you are consuming 40 rupees. Okay. I'm telling for example, you are consuming 40 rupees. So these 40, how this 40 will come? உங்களுக்கு இன்கமே இல்லை, ஆனால் 40 rupees நீ கன்சியூம் பண்ற. Okay, now you are a student, right? So you are earning anything? No, nothing. You are earning nothing, but you are having food, right? So you have interest, right? So இதெல்லாம் எங்க இருந்து வருது? From your savings, right? So already save பண்ணி வச்சதுல இருந்து எடுத்து என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, இன்கம் அதை ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க, right? That is a consumption. This consumption is called autonomous consumption. When your income is 0, you are consuming something, that is called as autonomous consumption. Okay. So எனக்கு இன்கமே இல்லாதப்ப நான் ஒரு கன்சம்ஷன் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா, என்னோட இன்கம் 0-வா இருக்கும் போது நான் கன்சியூம் பண்றேன்னா அந்த கன்சப்ஷனுக்கு பேர் என்னதுன்னா autonomous consumption. Okay. அண்ட் அந்த டைம் நான் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்றேன் ஒரு 20 rupees எதுலையோ, எனக்கு இன்கமே இல்லை ஆனால் நான் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்றேன் 20 rupees. So that is called as autonomous investment. Okay, that is called as autonomous investment. But investment will not change when your income changes. Always it will be same. Because income வந்து 0-வா இருக்கட்டும், 100-ஆ இருக்கட்டும், 200-ஆ இருக்கட்டும், ஏறிட்டே போகும். உங்க கன்சப்ஷனோட ஷெட்யூல் கண்டிப்பா மாறும். ஸோ எனக்கு 0 இன்கமாக இருக்கும், 40 கன்சியூம் பண்ணி, இதே எனக்கு 100 ரூபாய் இன்கம் வந்துச்சுன்னா நான் என்ன பண்ணுவேன், 100 rupees, 120 rupeesக்கு நான் கன்சியூம் பண்ணுவேன், ரைட்? ஸோ அதில் 100 rupees என்னோட இன்கம், அந்த பேலன்ஸ் இருக்கிற 20 rupees வந்து autonomous consumption. முன்னாடி இருந்த சேவிங்ஸ்லேருந்து நீ எடுத்து செலவு பண்ணுற. ஸோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் as autonomous consumption. And investment, when your income is 0 or when your income is 600, your investment will be same, that is 200. This is autonomous investment. Okay, so see, this is the autonomous investment. It is a straight line parallel to the x-axis. Okay, Next, aggregate demand equal to, what is the formula for two sector economy? Aggregate demand equal to consumption plus investment, right? So consumption plus investment. So you should add the consumption and investment, you will get the aggregate demand. So come to here, the explanation. Aggregate demand upon the level of income in the economy. It depends on the level of income on the economy. Generally, there exists a positive relationship between income and the level of aggregate expenditure in the economy. Expenditure is nothing but we are consuming, investing. This is expenditure. Okay. So your level of income raises, aggregate demand also rises. Where income raises, what will happen? Aggregate demand will also rise. Okay, so this is the concept of aggregate demand. Okay, we understand aggregate demand means consumption plus investment. When your income is zero, you are consuming something, that is autonomous consumption. When your income is zero, you are investing in somewhere, that is autonomous investment. And your income increases, your investment will not increase. It will be always same, and it is parallel to the x-axis. It is a straight line parallel to the x-axis, which is called as autonomous investment. But consumption will change according to your income. The total of consumption and investment is called as aggregate demand. Okay, this is the diagrammatic representation of aggregate demand. Next one is aggregate supply. Come to aggregate supply. What is aggregate supply? Aggregate demand is the total value of all final goods and services. But aggregate supply is a money value. The word is most important, is a money value. Money value of all final goods and services available for the purchase of an economy during a given period. So, அந்த period நடக்கிற, which is the income. நான் என்ன சொன்னேன்னா aggregate demand is expenditure சொன்னேன். But aggregate supply is a income. It is also called as national income. Okay. So, aggregate supply equal to consumption plus savings. Okay, this is called as aggregate supply. Okay, aggregate supply represents the national income of a country. Aggregate supply can name in a national income, which represents Y. Here income represents Y. Okay, so aggregate supply is equal to national income. Okay. Next one is diagrammatic representation of aggregate supply. Again come to this schedule. See, your income is 0. You are consuming 40. This is what? Autonomous. This is what? Autonomous consumption. Right? So your savings is minus 40. How minus 40 will come? Because you நீங்க இந்த சேவிங்ஸ்ல இருக்க 40 rupees தான் எடுத்து கன்சியூம் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. So சேவிங்ஸ்ல என்ன ஆகும்? அந்த 40 rupees கம்மி ஆகும். So that is minus 40. So aggregate supply is total of consumption and savings. It will be 0. So always aggregate supply curve starts from the origin here. Okay. So next one is 100. Your consumption is 120. So 20 is a autonomous consumption, right? So here it is minus 20. Okay. Okay. So your income is 0, your consumption is 40. That is autonomous consumption. Okay, next we are going to see the diagrammatic representation of aggregate supply. Okay, so aggregate supply la நம்ம என்னெல்லாம் பார்க்கிறோம் அப்படினா, so aggregate supply is nothing but a consumption plus savings, which is called as aggregate supply. So இங்க income வந்து 0. Okay, consumption is 40. So this consumption is called as autonomous consumption, because 0 level of income we are consuming something, that is a autonomous consumption. I already told you. So this consumption, where it comes from? It comes from the savings, right? So minus 40. Savings la 40 rupees கம்மியாகும். So நம்ம consume பண்ணிருக்கோம். Savings la தான் எடுத்து consume பண்ண போறோம். So that 40 rupees will be deducted there. So minus 40. The total of consumption and savings is aggregate supply. So total of 40 plus minus 40 is equal to 0. Positive and negative will be a 0. Right. So that 100 is your income. 120 is your consumption. So 20 rupees is autonomous consumption. Where you took this 20 rupees, it is from savings. So minus 20. Right. So the difference of these two is called as aggregate supply. Right. So அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம்னா, இங்க வந்து income வந்து 200. So நான் consumption என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னா 200 பண்ணிருக்கேன். அப்ப என்னோட savingsல இருந்து நான் எதுவுமே எடுக்கல. So 0. So total of these two is 200. So here income and say aggregate supply will be equal. Okay, when your income and consumption is equal, your supply will be also equal, right? So இந்த curve எப்படி ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும்னா 0ல இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும், ஒரிஜின்ல இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும் always. Aggregate supply curve starts from the origin. It is a straight, பாத்தீங்கன்னா எப்படி போகுது பாத்தீங்களா, aggregate supply originல இருந்து ஒரு line, அவ்வளவுதான். That is aggregate supply. It is also called as national income. Okay, this is called as diagrammatic representation of a what? Aggregate supply. Okay, next one is consumption function. So consumption function, what is consumption? What is consumption? First of all, consumption is a what we are consuming. How we are consuming, think that எப்படி நம்ம consume பண்ணோம், from our income only we are consuming, right? So என்னோட income இருந்தாதான் என்னால consume பண்ண முடியும். So that is a relationship, functional relationship between consumption and income. That's all meaning. It's a relationship between consumption of income. So this is a functional relationship of consumption. Consumption function is equal to f of y, f of your income. It depends on your income. C is a consumption, y is a income, and f is a functional relationship. Okay, and this equation is used for your numericals. Okay, C equal to C bar plus MPC into y. The formula is C equal to C bar plus dy. Okay, B is a MPC. Okay, B is a MPC, which is I mentioned here. B is a MPC, marginal propensity to consume. What is marginal propensity to consume? You know that. I'll explain you in the later slide. Okay, so which is called as MPC. This is the consumption, autonomous consumption. C bar is a autonomous consumption. Okay, so now curve la pathina na just curve varira. Income வந்து 0. அப்போ நீங்க ஒரு 40 கன்சியூம் பண்றீங்க. ஸோ அப்போ அக்ரிகேட் டிமாண்ட் கர்வ் வந்து இங்க இருந்து ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது. ஓகேவா? ஸோ அப்போ இந்த பிளேஸ் தான் என்ன சொல்லுவோம்னா நம்ம ஆட்டோனமஸ் கன்சப்ஷன் சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ அதை எப்படி ரெப்ரசென்ட் பண்ணுவோம் அப்படின்னா சி பார் அப்படின்னு ரெப்ரசென்ட் பண்ணுவோம். ஓகே, தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் சி பார். அண்ட் பி இஸ் அ மார்ஜினல் ப்ரொபென்சிட்டி டு கன்சியூம், தட் இஸ் டி. இன்டு ஒய் இஸ் அ இன்கம். ஓகே, யூ அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்? ஸோ இன் கொஸ்டின் they will ask like in equilibrium they will give a consumption function to find the income. The firm is in equilibrium. Like that they will ask. At that time, when it is in equilibrium, your income is equal to your consumption. It is called as equilibrium. Or your income is equal to consumption plus investment. If investment is given, this is called as equilibrium. You should use this formula to find out the answer, like autonomous consumption or MPC or income. You have to use this formula. Okay, this is called as consumption function. The numericals part I will explain you in detail. Okay. Next one is consumption schedule and graph. What is consumption schedule and graph? Here see, consumption. What is the functional relationship of income and consumption? I told you 0. Your consumption is 40. It is autonomous consumption. 100, 120. Here 20 is autonomous consumption. Here 200, 200. Your income is equal to consumption. Here where is 200, 200? See. So this is a consumption curve actually. Your income is there. Your consumption curve is here. So meeting point here only 200 is equal to 200. This point is called as break-even point. This is called as equilibrium. Okay. So this is called as equilibrium. So your income curve starts from the origin. It is always 45 degree. And consumption curve starts from some point, that is from 40. The meeting point is called as break-even point. Here income is equal to consumption. Okay. This is called as consumption schedule and consumption graph. Okay. Next one is equilibrium level. What is equilibrium level? ரெண்டுமே ஈக்குவலா இருக்கணும், ரைட்? ஈக்குவலிபிரியம் லெவலில் ரெண்டு அப்ரோச் நம்மளுக்கு இருக்கு. அக்ரிகேட் டிமாண்ட் ஈக்குவல் டு அக்ரிகேட் சப்ளை. ஓகே, அக்ரிகேட் டிமாண்ட் ஈக்குவல் டு அக்ரிகேட் சப்ளை. Savings equal to investment. Two approaches we are having. The two approaches demand and supply equal இருந்ததுன்னா அது equilibrium. Savings investment equal இருந்ததுன்னா அது equilibrium. Income consumption equal இருந்ததுன்னா அது equilibrium. ஓகே, ஸோ எங்க வந்து ரெண்டுமே ஈக்குவலா இருக்கோ அந்த இடத்துல தான் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்லுவோம், equilibrium level அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஓகே, நெக்ஸ்ட் equilibrium by AD and AS approach. So this is aggregate demand and savings approach actually. Okay, aggregate demand and saving approach nothing. நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இருக்கிற aggregate demand ஓட ஷெட்யூலையும் aggregate supply ஓட ஷெட்யூலையும் நான் ஒன்னா இப்படி போட்டிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னா ஸோ அதுதான் வந்து ஈக்குவலிபிரம். எங்கே ஈக்குவலிபிரம் இருக்குது பாருங்கள். ஸோ இங்கே எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட், இன்கம், கன்சப்ஷன், சேவிங்ஸ், இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட். ஸோ அக்ரிகேட் டிமாண்ட் ஈக்குவல் டு கன்சப்ஷன் ப்ளஸ் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட். அது ரெண்டுத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணணும். 40 plus 40 80. Aggregate supply equal to consumption plus savings. இது ரெண்டுத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணணும், which is 0. ஸோ அப்போ aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply. ஸோ அப்போ இது equilibrium இல்லை. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி கம்பேர் பண்ணி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இங்கே தான் equilibrium இருக்கிறது. ஸோ AD is equal to AS, where the aggregate demand and aggregate supply is equal, that is called as equilibrium. Okay. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் ஆகணுன்றதுக்காக தான் இந்த ஷெட்யூல். ஓகே. நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் சேவிங்ஸ் அண்ட் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் டாக்டர். ஸோ அது அப்படியே பார்த்தாலே தெரியும் சேவிங்ஸ் எவ்வளோ பண்ணியிருக்கோம், இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் எவ்வளோ பண்ணியிருக்கோம். எங்கே சேவிங்ஸ் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்டும் ஈக்குவலாக இருக்குது, இங்கே தான். ஸோ சேவிங்ஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட், இட் இஸ் அ ஈக்குவலிபிரம். ஸோ இட்ஸ் இஸ் அ சேவிங்ஸ் அண்ட் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் அப்ரோச். ஓகே. Next one is induced consumption. You have two types of consumption. That is one I already told you, autonomous consumption, and another one is induced consumption. What is induced consumption? It is expenditure which is affected by the change in income. If your income change, your consumption will also change. Okay. Your income change ஆகுது அப்படின்னா consumption என்ன ஆகும்? Change ஆகும். Income changes, consumption is also changes. That is called as induced consumption. Okay. It is indicated by MPC into Y. Okay. Income எவ்வளவோ அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரி தான் உங்களோட consumption இருக்கும். Okay. That is called as induced consumption. But this is the important points about APC actually. And induced consumption முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. autonomous நான் already சொல்லியிருக்கேன். When your income is 0, you are consuming something, that is autonomous consumption. அதுவும் நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன். So important points, அதாவது APC னா என்ன, MPC னா என்ன ஃபர்ஸ்ட் தெரியணும் உங்களுக்கு. APC னா என்ன? Average propensity to consume. APS னா என்ன? Average propensity to save. MPC னா என்ன? Marginal propensity to consume, marginal propensity to save. So நான் இதை explain பண்ணிட்டு வரேங்க. See. First, marginal propensity to consume. What is marginal propensity to consume? Before that, I will explain you. Average propensity to consume. Average propensity to consume is equal to consumption by income. Consumption is a relationship between consumption by income. Sorry, income is Y. Okay. Total consumption, total income. It is a proportion or a ratio of total consumption and total income is called as average propensity to consume. Marginal propensity to consume means it is a changes. You should note the word changes. Delta, I will tell you, delta is a changes. Okay. Changes in consumption by changes in income, which is called as marginal propensity to consume. Okay. So difference between the APC and MPC is nothing but it is the total of consumption and total of income. It is the changes of consumption and changes of income. What is and the next one is what is APS? It is a total savings by total income. MPS, same I told you, changes in savings by changes in income. That's all. So you have to write the answer like the ratio or proportion to the changes in income to the changes in savings is called as MPS. So this is called as MPS. Okay, so now what is the relationship between APC and APS? Always APC and APS is equal to 1. This is the relationship. The sum of the average propensity to consume and average propensity to save is always equal to 1. Next one, marginal. Marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save is always equal to 1. This is the relationship between the APC and APS and MPC and MPS. Okay. This is marginal propensity to consume. Next one is savings function. Again, come to savings function. I already told you what is the savings function. What is the relationship between savings function? It depends on your income again. So it is a relationship between savings and income. That's all. Okay. Here APC will come, savings schedule will come, consumption, savings equal to what the formula? Income minus consumption. What you are consuming from your income, the balance amount you have to save, that is a savings. Okay. Next savings of function is APS, MPS. I already explained you, total savings by total income, changes in savings by changes in income. This is the types of savings function. And the relationship between APC and APS, this is most important question. So relationship between APC and APS, average propensity to consume and average propensity to save, is always equal to 1. Okay. It can be proved by APC, and APS is equal to, when your income is equal to consumption, see, your income is equal to your consumption. Okay, so you have to divide both sides by income, you will get a consumption or savings. Okay, so this is called as APC plus APS is equal to a same marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save. Sum of the marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save is always equal to 1. Okay, so the relationship between this is they will always ask. Okay, so which is very important, the sum of APC and APS is equal to 1. The sum of MPC and MPS equal to 1. And you should keep in mind that A is the average. The formula for that, this one is consumption by income. This one is savings by income. Average propensity to consume or average propensity to save. You should keep in mind that that is a total consumption and total saving. But marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to, it is a changes. Okay. So changes. First month you will get 100. Second month it is 200, means the changes is 100. So you should calculate from the changes, you will get a marginal propensity to consume and marginal propensity to save. Okay, this is the relationship between this. Okay, next, investment function. Same, induced investment, autonomous investment. Induced investment is what? It will change according to your income. Autonomous investment is what? If your income changes, if you're not having income, you are investing something, that is the autonomous investment. Okay, and induced investment. It depends on profit expectation, directly influenced by income level. It is directly influenced by your income level. Autonomous, which is not affected by changes in the level of income. It will be always equal. In your income changes, your investment will be always 20. I showed you, know, it is always a straight line parallel to x-axis, that is autonomous investment. Next on topic is ex ante savings and investment. What is ex ante? You should keep in mind that this is a planned saving at different level of income. Okay, so the household is planning to save, the household is planning to invest wherever it is, which is called as ex ante savings and ex ante investment. Okay, what is next one is exposed savings, and it is the actual or realized value, which is not planned, which is both planned and unplanned. Okay, so both actual realized savings in economy, total of planned and unplanned investment. Total of planned and unplanned savings is called exposed. So you should know that this is a total of planned and unplanned. Okay, that is only a planned investment or savings. Next one is full employment. What is employment? You know, the situation where the people works, that is called as employment. But what is full employment? Full employment means it refers to a situation in which all the people who are willing and able to work at an existing wage rate get work without any undue difficulty. அவங்க வேலைக்கு போகணும், அவங்க வில்லிங்காக இருக்காங்க, என்ன வேஜ் ரேட் கொடுக்குறாங்களோ, என்ன சம்பளம் கொடுக்குறாங்களோ அதுக்கு அவங்க போய் ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்க, எந்த ஒரு டிஃபிகல்ட்டியும் இல்லாமல். தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் ஃபுல் எம்ப்ளாய்மெண்ட். Have the types frictional and structural employment under this full employment. Okay. Next one is involuntary unemployment. This is also important. What is involuntary unemployment? Involuntary unemployment refers to an unemployment in which all those people who are willing and able to work at the existing wage rate but do not get work. நான் என்ன வேலை கொடுத்தாலும் எவ்வளவு salary கொடுத்தாலும் work பண்ண ready, but I am not getting a job. That is called as involuntary unemployment. Okay, so which is nothing but they are ready to work at the existing wage rate, but they are not getting any work. That is called as involuntary unemployment. Okay, the word is most important is willing to work at existing wage rate. Okay, existing wage rate, but do not get work. Okay, so this is called as involuntary unemployment. Okay, keep in mind that they are ready to work at existing wage rate, they are willing and able to work for their existing wage rate, but they are not getting a work. That is the involuntary unemployment. Okay, these are all the terms you are having in the determination of income and employment chapter. You have one more thing also, I will explain you that also. Okay, so wait. Okay, next I'm going to tell you one of the most important, which is excess demand and deficient demand. Okay, so which is very important actually. So now you know what is aggregate demand and what is aggregate supply. So இதை வச்சு தான் நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம். So first I will explain you in this diagram. Okay, note it down. Okay, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Okay, here where the aggregate supply will be, what is your aggregate supply curve? It starts from the origin, right? Goes like this. It is aggregate supply or income, right? So aggregate demand curve starts from here, right? So it goes like this, which is aggregate demand curve. The meeting point, what is the meeting point? This point is called as break even point, right? Break even point or equilibrium point. Okay, so here it is income and this is expenditure. It is 0. It is always 45 degree. Okay, you know what is aggregate demand curve? I told you what is aggregate supply. It starts from some point. I told you, no, aggregate demand curve always starts from some point. It does not start from the origin. Aggregate supply curve, it starts from the origin. Okay, this is the curve. Here in between, just I will take it as a E. Okay, so in between these 0 to the break even point, in between we call it as a full employment if it is a full employment. Okay, full employment. I am drawing one dotted line. Okay, here this gap is called as inflationary gap. What is this? Inflationary gap. Okay, this is called as excess demand. Why it is called as excess demand? See, in this point, what the curve is? This is a demand curve, right? Aggregate demand curve. This is aggregate supply curve. Aggregate demand only greater than aggregate supply. Where aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply at the full employment level, the gap is called as inflationary gap. Explanation also, this much is enough. Do you understand? So you should draw the diagram, understand from the diagram, it will be very easy for you. Okay, so when aggregate demand and this exceeds aggregate supply at the full employment level, which is called as excess demand, this gap is called as inflationary gap. This gap is called as inflationary gap. Okay, here the price will rise. Here the price will rise. So this is called as excess demand. Same thing I will tell you for deficient demand. Again I am drawing the graph. Okay, so the screen it is not coming neatly. Okay, 0, this is income, this is expenditure. Okay, so again I am drawing the income curve, that is Y. This is aggregate supply curve. Okay, next one is I am drawing aggregate demand curve. This is aggregate demand. The meeting point is called as what? Break even point. Same thing only I am drawing here. I will tell you what is the difference. Okay, here I am telling you this is E, equilibrium. Here after the equilibrium point, here full employment is there. This is full employment. Okay, here I am drawing the dotted line. See here aggregate supply curve only greater, right? So aggregate supply is greater than aggregate demand. The supply curve is greater than demand curve. This gap is called as deflationary gap. Which is called as deficient demand. Okay. So where aggregate supply exceeds aggregate demand at the full employment level, that is called as deficient demand. This gap is called as deflationary gap. Here price will fall. Okay, you should understand the difference of inflationary gap and deflationary gap, excess demand and deficient demand. Whatever it is, you should draw the diagram and you should explain in the form of diagram. It will be easy for you also. Easy for you. Okay, So you understand பண்ணிட்டீங்க diagram னா நீங்க எழுதிடலாம் automatically you should write that, right? So inflationary னா என்ன, demand supply விட அதிகமா இருக்கும். So அப்போ அது full employment level தான். At full employment level, that is a key word I am telling you. Aggregate demand is greater than aggregate supply at full employment level. It is called as excess demand. The gap represents inflationary gap. Here price will raise. This is the answer for the question. So like that deficit demand also. Okay, do you understand? This is excess demand and this is deficit demand. Okay, and next one is, in this topic they will ask measures to control excess demand and deficit demand. Okay, so நீங்க already banking lesson படிச்சதுனால நான் சொல்றேன். So உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் monetary measures, physical measures na government policies, taxes அதெல்லாம். Monetary measures na qualitative instrument, quantitative instrument. So இது excess demand இருக்கும்போது எதை increase பண்ணணும், எதை decrease பண்ணணும். Deficit demand இருக்கும்போது எதை increase பண்ணணும், எதை decrease பண்ணணும். அதுதான் measures to control excess demand and deficit demand. That is also very important question. You should learn that in your book. Will be in a detailed. Okay, but it is very easy. Quantitative na enna, qualitative na enna already நம்ம banking lessonல நம்ம வந்து last year 11th லயும் படிச்சிருக்கோம். So அதை increase பண்ணணுமா decrease பண்ணணுமா ரெண்டுத்தையும் compare பண்ணி பார்த்துட்டீங்கன்னா measures to control excess demand and deficit demand நீங்க எழுதிடலாம். That's all. Okay, so these are the theory part of determination of income and employment level I completed. Okay, so numericals only there. If you want a numericals, you can ask me in comment. I will post the video. Otherwise, I will go for the next lesson. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you can subscribe the channel and like the video. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Comments like கேளுங்க, நான் கண்டிப்பா clear பண்றேன். அதுக்கு மேல ஏதாச்சும் உங்களுக்கு தேவை, ஸ்டடீஸ்க்கு ஏதாவது தேவை, இந்த லெசனாவது உங்களுக்கு வேணும்னா you should ask me. I will post the video. Okay. Thank you.